Okay, I wanted to give a quick update. Today's day 2 of my high five challenge. And okay, overall of the day. First of all, on day 2 of the high five Mel Robbins challenge, that's what I'm calling it. I don't know if she actually said challenge, I can't remember, but I'm implementing giving myself a high five and just starting off my day with this positive mindset, deliberate mindset, caring about myself, my point of view, my baseline perspective that's going to affect absolutely everything. It's great. And what do I do on day 2? I forgot what I was doing. Um, I am still sick. I'm getting better, but it's definitely still this lingering nasty cold. Doubling up on vitamin C, drinking my water. And at 2 p.m., I was like, oh my God, I forgot. I just did. And so that's life, and that's kind of why I wanted um, to bring it up, because it's like there's always this, best case scenario. Like I was saying in the other video, a lot of people, I think, that it's just always something lacking. It seems very unrelatable. I found very kind of generic and bumper sticker advice, and it's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense, but this is real life and I don't relate to that, and I still don't know why I'm out of control, how to get from point A to point B, fill that space. So that's that's a great thing about Mel Robbins, as I was saying. And that's life. So I'm just rolling with the punches. The old me would have been like, oh, screw it, but the big takeaway from forgetting about my morning first thing practice until 2 p.m., the a great thing that I did to make some lemonade out of this lemon situation where I really dropped the ball was that I immediately stopped what I was doing. I washed my hands because I was in the middle of washing dishes. I didn't put it off so I would forget it until further down the line, which is what I would have done in the past, until I would have forgotten it completely and then missed the entire day. So I immediately stopped what I was doing and I went to the mirror, did my high five, and really in that moment said, okay, I'm going to have a great day. I got this. I am capable. I want to be a best-selling author. I'm the next great American author. I was doing all these affirmations, and I was trying to do them in a deliberate way where I can actually believe them and know them and feel them. And instead of being affirmations of what I want, and I know in my subconscious, I can feel my subconscious being yeah, you're full of shit. I'm giving myself affirmations in real time in the mirror where I can actually feel into them and approach them from this place of authenticity and where I'm at, which is gratitude, right? And so that's what I did. That was the big takeaway. And I just wanted to say a side note. I'm going to make this really short. I don't want to get into it. I'm already rambling, but I watched this thing on the Long Island killer or whatever, the guy that they think might have something to do or be the killer or be connected to the killings of these women, of these sex workers. I watched an interview with a woman who claimed that she went on a date in the past, had drinks with the man who is arrested, that gigantic, he looks like he's 6'6" or something. He's really, really tall. He's just a gigantic man. And just looking at the pictures of him, he is imposing. He makes me uncomfortable, and that's just my gut feeling just looking at a photograph of him. He has a bad, dark energy just from the picture. But I watched an interview with this woman who claimed that she went on a date with him in the past. Of course, she could be lying. She could be making it up. Some people said that in the comments, oh, it's just for clout. Some people believed her. And my impression was that she was telling the truth. And the reason I bring it up is I was really discouraged. She said that in the interview I saw, she said she did another interview where she specifically said at this time in my life, in the past, it was years ago, I was in a bad place. I was, an escort, sex worker. I don't know how she worded it. Um, and this is what I've done since then to completely turn my life around. I'm gainfully employed. I have a great business. I'm a mom. I'm this, I'm that. I've done all these things to change my life. So I don't want, in interviews, she said that she, explained that. And she said that she didn't want to be known as just like a prostitute, sex worker, whatever. And that another interview she did, that was like the first thing they said. And I searched other interviews with this woman, and sure enough, I found one. I was reading the comments on that interview, and my God, there was only like 40 comments, but they were all so freaking ugly. Like, just like really gross stuff. Like this woman who's saying, hey, I had an experience with this man. I got a bad feeling. This is what happened. Um, and it turns out that he has now been arrested years later. And the comments were really, really nasty. Like, oh, just, nasty stuff, talking about her being a prostitute and her being dirty and her talking like low shots about her looks and being ugly in her weight and this and that. And it was just like, I don't know. It just is really disgusting to me to see. And but it's not surprising. And as a woman who has had that exact thing, I've been at that place, I've been that homeless person, I've been that sex worker, and I can say, I had a bachelor's degree when I was a homeless sex worker. I never thought in a million years that I would ever get to my place, that place in my addiction or in my life where I would be homeless. I'm from a middle class family. Nobody expects to be to be an addict, and to be an addict where their life is completely overtaken by the parasite of addiction. And no one thinks that. And if they do think that, and they've never had any aspirations beyond just like, the trenches of life, then how can they be like held accountable, if that's them. But I'm here to say most people like can ever like see those low points coming and really know how low their low points in life are going to be, or exactly what's going to be the catalyst, or how their darkest days are going to manifest. So I don't know, if you, no matter where you're at, just do not wait for society to help you, or for anyone or anything. There's not going to be any government program or anything or any person. No one can help you except yourself. But you can do it. You absolutely can. And you do not have to die in the lowest point in your life. You don't. And if you are unhappy in your life, then that is proof that you are meant for greater things, and that you are capable of greater things, and I didn't know that is like so obvious, but I didn't not realize that at the time, at any point in my life, and until my late 30s, from 34 and before, at no point in my life was I truly, from my soul, just content and at peace and happy, and even relatively happy. But yet I did not stop to think, wow, the fact that I am in pain, the fact that I do have this discomfort, the fact that I am just unhappy and have this dis-ease living my life, I never looked at that as a sign that, hey, I'm meant for more than this. This doesn't have to be my life, And it's not like that. There's a saying in addiction, in recovery communities, like, your life has become unmanageable. That's like step one of NA and AA. Admitting you have a problem, admit that your life has become unmanageable. And the thing is that, of course, with addiction, you have to admit your life has become unmanageable. But anybody that has an addiction or even like a maladaptive habit or behavior or state of being that is not working for them and is clearly impacting their quality of life, to even get to that point, you know, your life has become unmanageable when you turn to drug use. It's already become unmanageable when you use drugs for the first time. It has. If you can manage your life, you do not have to feel the desire to ingest poison. When you can manage your life, you do not feel the desire to be around and absorb the energy of toxic people and toxic, even like news. That's why I was like, screw the news. I don't watch it. And honestly, I don't care. I care, but I don't care just like to the point of ruminating and worrying about things that our government is doing. I think we are all kind of like hostages of our government. We really are. They are just disgusting, and evil empire and war pigs. I just cannot stand the US government. But anyway, side note, um, your life has become unmanageable well before you ever like decide to date like a toxic, potentially abusive partner, let alone end up stuck with like in this abusive relationship, or with this like drug use that has become this dependency and then addiction. Your life's unmanageable when you cannot live with yourself. And I keep reiterating that um, to myself, because it really helps me like work on the baseline, which is that, I got this, I can do it. And just having real affirmations that I believe and that I feel in my core, and touching base with myself and building that rapport with myself. And so, like, to tie it back around, I know I've rambled like crazy, but that's with the high five habit, that's something that is working for me. Day 2, I had a hiccup, I got back on track. I'm proud of that. That was like a lesson learned, and it helps me touch base with myself in a positive way, where I can build a relationship with myself, say, hey, I'm in charge of my life. I am in charge of my life. I have agency. That means I have power. I have power over my life. I've taken power back from, from toxic news, from toxic people, from toxic relationships, from literally toxic substances. I've taken back agency. And if you are, you know, ever homeless, or sold your body, or given it away, given yourself away to whatever that's tried to destroy you, know that you're like better than that, and your unhappiness is proof that you are capable and worthy and able to have just a better life. So I don't know, I don't even know if I'll post this, but I think I will. Y'all have a good night.